What's up, guys? Jacob Owens here for the Buff Nerds. We got Tom Taher here today, DP extraordinaire. Recently, we just shot a music video for the Bone Thugs. We did one of our favorite in-studio looks to shoot this music video. So Tom today is gonna break down how we lit it, how we shot it, and made it look so crispy.
Cool, check it out. What's going on, guys? I'm doing a breakdown of the Bone Thugs Haven't Had a Cell Phone video. And yeah, let's get started. Actually playing in this scene. So inside the phone booth, we actually got lucky. There's actually a practical kind of lighting our subject here, and it was actually a bit more tungsten, so the bulb was more 3200 Kelvin. And we sort of embraced that and wanted to have some color contrast. So we actually ended up taking a Leica or Source 4 to have, you can kind of see this blue light back here. That was sort of, backlighting the, our subject and backlighting the phone booth. Our contrast between the blue that's hitting here and hitting him, and then the warm sort of light that you see right on his face. So yeah, that's sort of the look we are going for, and you can kind of see it pretty well in that still. And here's another one that shows it pretty well. And to really get the blue light to show in this frame, we ended up so yeah, to get the blue light to really show in this scene, we actually used a bit of haze. We used our favorite hazer is called the DF50. You can get this at most rental houses. It's not like your traditional fogger that, sort of can be a little intense sometimes. It just adds atmosphere. You have a really strong light. You can actually see the beam of the light. So as a Source 4, and I have a picture of it later, is sort of backlighting everything here. And then we have this tungsten light right up here that's sort of letting off 3200, which is nice. So you have a combination of 3200, and the Source 4 is actually 3200 as well. But I added a half CTB and another still frame from the project. So you can kind of see a couple things going on, and we're going to show you where these things are coming from in some of the behind the scenes stills. So this sort of top light right here is actually coming from a 2K space light that is just above, sort of lighting him from above. And then there's actually an effect here that a lot of people have actually asked us about. It's a sort of ghost. I see it here as well. This is from a split diopter, and I'll show you in the next frame what that does and how we've used it. And then this right here is actually a flare that we added in post. We've been working a lot with this company. They've been really generous to let us try out a lot of their products. It's called Tropic Color. And Tropic Color, they sell LUTs and different assets for filmmakers. We've been trying out their Lomo anamorphic flare pack, and it works really well. I mean, honestly, I shoot anamorphic on a lot of my projects when I can, and you can't always really afford anamorphic lenses. So for $75, you can own sets of anamorphic flares. So yeah, we just over diopter here, and then yeah, I have some stills coming up that really break down the lighting of how this image was created. Yeah, the split diopter is actually empty, and when you sort of hold that in front of your lens, you actually create this unique effect, sort of like holding a prism in your lens, but you can kind of see, it actually really in camera distorts the image. So if you're wondering what that is, we've had some people hit us up for that. That's exactly what we're doing. But yeah, we are using the Red camera, Red Epic. We had standard speed lenses. That's these puppies right here. And yeah, this is, I think, a Preston follow focus, because we were on Steadicam, so we had to pull focus remotely. So these are the Source 4s I was talking about. And the Source 4 has a couple names. It's Source 4. It's a 750, essentially. So you can plug it pretty much into any outlet in a house or in a studio, because it doesn't really draw that much power. And essentially it's a theater, what that's doing. And yeah, to confirm, as I mentioned before, we had a half CTB, which stands for color temperature blue, and it just corrects them to be, yeah, it just adds blue to it, and yeah, you can kind of see it sort of giving a really nice edge. Space light. Sorry, my handwriting's not that great. We actually had 3 2K space lights up here. And then, so you have, and the space light is, and China Silk sort of a form of diffusion. And we had 3 of them, so it was a total of a 6K space light. And then we double broke it, so, you know, you have the space light. I'll sort of sketch it like right here. That's sending some light down. We had 3 of them. Sorry, it's a very bad sketch. But what we did right below them is add a quarter grid, and then we added black duvetine on the sides. So this is the light that's sort of coming through. It's going through 2 layers of diffusion. So yeah, lights, then we have some grid, and then it's sending like a lot of light down. And yeah, we had each of these hooked up to a 2K Variac, and a 2K Variac basically allows you to dim the light from 100 to 0, and you can dial it to like say 80% if you want, you know, which is nice. If it's too overexposed on your camera or whatever, or you want to warm it up, you can just dim it down. So sorry, yeah, there's a lot of sketches on this one, but this sort of gave you a really nice, I figured, breakdown of like our setup. And yeah, you can see him under the space light here. That's giving him like a really nice glow. And then to fill him in, because this is a very top source, we actually had I believe a Kino 4 bank with tungsten tubes going through this right here. I believe is 250, and 250 is just a diffusion frame. And yeah, it's just giving him, you can kind of see, just kind of filling him in right here. And then we put a beadboard on the ground, and what that does is just a white bounce card. Any light that's essentially hitting him will bounce back up and sort of fill in the shadows. And that same setup that you saw with Jake jumping is still playing in this, and that's, you know, the 2 Source 4 Lecos with half CTB backlighting, and to confirm in camera this is what it was looking like. So yeah, and then yeah, we were on Steadicam, and then I was off camera just doing that split field diopter, as you can see in this shot right here. Yeah, so Tank standing in, you got the space light from above, Sam's vlogging or doing something. I think I'm moving over to camera, we're about to roll. And yeah, you can kind of see the atmosphere over here, which is really nice because it really helps you see the source of light. You can see the 250 frame right here, and then it was a Kino 4 bank. Let's see. Now that I think about it, I think I had the Kino 4 bank at Salt and Pepper. And Salt and Pepper basically is a fancy name. I think I spelled pepper wrong. That's awesome. Which is, it's a 4 bank, so you had 2 tubes at 3200 Kelvin and 2 at 5600 Kelvin. Yeah, and it just sort of gives you like, I don't know, somewhere in the middle, you know, and I thought that was nice for the scene. So yeah, that's the last frame I have, our last BTS. Hope you enjoyed this. Try to keep it quick and short, but at the same time show you, you know, what we had going on. And yeah, you know, this was a lot of fun. Let us know if you have any additional questions below. And yeah, we'll try and answer them.
Cool. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, share. We had fun shooting it. We had fun talking about it. So yeah, let us know if you like it.
Make sure you guys check out the description below. We have our video guide that we had written and created. That's in the description. We talk about all these different things, and we talk about this lighting setup that Tom just talked about. We talk about that in detail, along with a lot of other information. So make sure to check that out as well. Leave a comment, subscribe like Tom said, and I think that's all we have.
Yeah, thank you.
Until next time, peace out. Gun.